Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Uju TV. But before we begin, let this quote guide your reflection today. You lose your divine reading the moment you start forcing your own turn. Please subscribe to our channel for more inspiring messages. Many people think manipulation equals strategy, but in the spirit realm, it is opposite. When you try to manipulate and force outcome, you step out of divine alignment and into fear. You begin to fight against the current instead of flowing with it. Manipulation might bring temporal wind, but it will cost you your peace, your alignment, right? And your energetic balance. That is what it will cost you, because the universe doesn't bless what comes from control. No, it blesses only truth and trust. That truthful effort and trust that you put into something, that is what the universe blesses. It doesn't bless control and manipulation. When you try to do so many things at the same time in order to get a result or an outcome. Because at that point, you're not trusting. You're not trusting the universe. You don't trust yourself. You don't believe that whatsoever you want, you already have. Right? Because if you believe that whatsoever you want, as a spirit living human experience, you already have. It's just for you to align with it. Then it comes to you. If you trust it, you won't force anything. You just allow things to grow and become what it has to be. But so many people don't understand that because you lack patience. The part you're not understanding when you are forcing things is you're not trusting the universe, right? And because you lack patience, you want it now and you want to get it now. But it doesn't work like that, because we were trained to force things. You grew up seeing people force things in order to get them done, right? So before you can receive from the universe, you have to relearn how to sit and receive. That does not mean you don't put action and effort in what you are doing. You put action, you put effort, you are consistent. You are doing everything you're doing from the truthful place. No manipulation, no putting so much energy to falsify things, or, trying to do whatever it takes, even if it's wrong, in order to get what you want. You're not trusting. At that point, you're doing your thing. You're not trusting God in the process. But when you trust the universe in the process, you do your own part, then you allow the spirit realm to do the part that is not your part. That is how when you see some people, when God blesses them, it doesn't stop. Because the blessings of the Lord make it rich and adds no sorrow. When you trust the universe and you put up the action and the determination and the consistency that is needed in the process of your growth, when your time is right, when you have learned all you need to learn in order to reset your nervous system and remind yourself of who you are and sit in your receiving energy without forcing things, it's like a river that never runs dry, right? Because at that point, the universe blesses you abundantly beyond human comprehension, right? But so many people lack that patience. Not because it's their fault. Anyway, it's not anybody's fault because you grew up like that, right? But when you consciously want to receive from the universe, you have to learn patience. Why? Because you have to relearn yourself. You have to know yourself again. You have to remember who you are because you have forgotten. You have to remember. And it is in remembering that you will now know how to move in order to put the necessary action without moving the balance of nature. Because it comes with a lot of consequences. When you try to undo yourself and do some certain things and hurt other people and do the things that naturally you shouldn't in order to get what is already yours. What you can easily just have once you align yourself to the right energy, right? You have already created a lot of karmic debt. You have already created so much for yourself. The consequences are huge and it's heavy, right? And it is not something that anybody would want to align with, right? But because you're still in the energy of wanting and getting, right, you will think that you can do anything. And remember, you are a spirit living human experience. So whatever route you take, the universe supports you positively. If you send out a request, the universe will give you the request, right? But when you get to the end of that path you took, you will now understand that you had no reason to go towards that direction, because your heart will ache for the rest of your life until you find a way to remember and come out of it. Because at the end of that part, you will understand that you would have still gotten the same result, assuming you took the other part, right? And at that point, you know, people will tell you when we'll get there until you get there. When you are still at the stage of wanting and getting, you won't understand it until you get to that spot. Then you will understand that it wasn't worth it. So today, I want you to understand that you don't need to push and pull. Whatsoever you want, you already have. It is just for you to align yourself to the energy that makes you magnetic to that thing that you want. Because at every point in time, the universe is ready to bless you. It's just waiting for you to align your energy, your thoughts, your action to those things that you have requested for. Then they will be made available for you in your physical reality. All you need is to relearn. Affirmation for today: I release the need to control. I trust the divine flow, and I allow life to unfold in perfect timing. Thank you for joining me once again. And until next time on Uju TV, control is fear disguised as wisdom.